with big savings on our entire inventory. Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch. He's Hacker.
Talk about a fried egg. I lasted about 5 minutes out there. I said, to heck with this. I'll do this in the morning. And I don't have any inside information. The lady that did it, she got in there. She made it happen.
And he doesn't shy away from opinion.
And I do enjoy drinking cold beer at ballparks. So if that makes me a baseball fan, then I'm a diehard baseball fan.
It's Hacker After Dark on 1010XL.
And a very good Friday evening to you, Jacksonville. It is Hacker After Dark, 1010XL, 92.5 FM with Aaron Williams. The Hacker Ryan Green with you. Glad you are with us on a Friday to close out the week here on Hacker After Dark, and a Friday that has us 2 days away from Super Bowl 60 and what will be the end of another NFL season. You know, I was going back in the phone history, looking at photos that I took out at Jaguar training camp. July the 23rd was the first day of Jaguar training camp this year. And now you fast forward to February the 6th, and the season will officially come to an end on Sunday. The Seattle Seahawks, the New England Patriots, the winner gets to hoist the Lombardi Trophy, and inevitably the winning team and the most valuable player will say they are going to Disneyland on Sunday evening. So we'll talk all about the game, give you our thoughts, our perspective on it. Gator basketball has a big one on Saturday night. Tomorrow night, you'll hear it right here on 1010XL, a battle for first place in the Southeastern Conference as they take on Texas A&M. A&M sits 7-2 in the conference. Florida sits 7-2 in the conference. It'll be a big one out in College Station, so we'll certainly give our thoughts on that. The NBA trade deadline has come and gone. Maybe some of the bigger stories are what didn't happen. Giannis remains in Milwaukee for now. Ja Morant remains in Memphis for now. I'd still be stunned if either Giannis or Morant were not on different teams when next season starts. But it was an active deadline. James Harden got traded. Anthony Davis got traded. Jaren Jackson, Nikola Vucevic, among many others. So we will talk about the NBA trade deadline, the winners and the losers. Orlando gave a player away to get under the luxury tax, and they did absolutely nothing aside from that. So we'll do a recap of the NBA trade deadline and what it all means moving forward. And as I told Rick there during the 2-minute drill, we will begin looking at the off seasons in the AFC South. As we said, come Monday, everybody's back to 0-0. It'll be 2.5 weeks until the NFL scouting combine, and it will be 1 month until NFL free agency. So we'll start looking at the offseason outline for the Jaguars, the Titans, the Texans, and the Colts. Guest lineup tonight looks like this. Mike Patton, he is the host of the Touring, the AFC South podcast. He's also a contributor for the Sporting News. We will talk to Mike about the AFC South, talk about the Titans, the Colts, and the Texans. Also, the NBA trade deadline. We will talk with Brian Toporek of Bleacher Report and Forbes. Brian has been one of our main NBA guys for years. And later on in the program, in the 9 o'clock hour, I will talk to the biggest New England Patriot fan that I know, my lovely wife, H². Heidi will join the program tonight to give her thoughts on New England and Seattle coming up this Sunday in Super Bowl 60. We're glad you're with us on a Friday here on Hacker After Dark. Every night on HAD, we do kick it off with a big deal of the night and Aaron Williams. Let's do that right now.
Time now for the big deal of the night.
What's the big deal?
What is the big deal?
No big deal.
It is a big deal.
On Hacker After Dark.
Not that this is going to be the big deal of the night, but I wanted to at least mention it. The opening ceremonies in the Winter Olympics are being replayed right now They were live earlier today. That's one of my guilty pleasures about being a sports fan. Whether it's the Winter Olympics or the Summer Olympics, and I talked about this a little earlier in the week, but now that it's here, I always find myself watching a ton of the events. Maybe I'm just sentimental, and I love seeing people representing their country. Maybe it's the fact that these sports only come on television once every 4 years, so I soak it up as much as I can. But, man, I'm going to be locked in to the luge, to the freestyle ski, speed skating. I was watching some curling action, Aaron, earlier. Saw the United States in the mixed curling. Got a big victory earlier today. I know United States women's hockey has already started. I was watching some of that. I don't know why I get locked in because I couldn't tell you anything about these sports outside of the 2 weeks that I watch them every 48 months. But, man, I'm going to be locked in. I can't wait for in the morning. I already know that speed skating begins at 7 a.m., and there's freestyle skiing and women's hockey and curling and in the luge and the bobsled and all this stuff. I'm going to channel my inner Cool Runnings from back in the day. Aaron, you're a sports fan like I am. I mean, are you going to watch the Winter Olympics at all? Do you care?
Don't typically watch the Winter Olympics. It's more the Summer Olympics that I'm into, but I think they're cool. I think if I do watch anything, it would be the bobsledding, and of course you reference to one of the greatest movies I think of all time in Cool Runnings.
Love Cool Runnings.
Love that movie.
That takes me back to my childhood, Cool Runnings. And I didn't realize, now they doctored it up, obviously, and made it more elaborate a little bit than what it actually was. That's what Hollywood does. But that's a true story. I mean, that happened. It's crazy to think that happened.
It's an awesome story.
It's an awesome story, right? But when you're watching, I mean, that movie came out in 1993. I was 10 years old. I didn't rationalize that this actually happened until I got older. And then when I found that out, it just added to the movie. But yeah, I will be locked in. Actually, I've set the DVR for a couple of events. Curling is always fascinating to me. I remember the first time I saw that thing, 2 or 3 Olympics ago when it got really big. I was like, what the hell are these people doing? And then all of a sudden it got huge. And now I think the cool thing about curling, and I hate to even say this because it almost takes away from the athletes to do it because it takes a special skill set. People listening tonight, a lot of us, myself included, we're never going to be good enough to play in the NFL. Or we're never going to be good enough to play in the NBA. Or we're never going to be good enough to play hockey or track and field or compete in tennis or compete with the world's greatest in golf. But a sport like curling, I mean, there is a world where you could learn how to do that. Now, it takes a special skill set to do, and every one of those people are in ridiculous shape. But I think that's the reason I like that so much, is even though it would be really, really, really hard to do it well, that's something that you hypothetically or theoretically could do, as opposed to going out there and competing with the NFL players or the NBA players on a weekly or nightly basis. So it'll be fun. Hope you guys enjoy the Winter Olympics. Again, the opening ceremonies are being replayed right now on NBC and Peacock. All right, Super Bowl 60, Santa Clara, California on Sunday. I got to be honest with you. Maybe it's the Jaguars blew an opportunity, and, you know, maybe some part of me still feels a little bitter towards that it's not Jacksonville playing in this game. I don't know what it is. But, Aaron, for the Super Bowl, man, normally by now I'm pretty fired up to watch it on Sunday. I'll shoot people straight here on Hacker After Dark. I mean, it's what I do. It's taken me a long time to get fired up for this. I don't know why. I mean, Seattle, New England, the 2 best teams, the 2 teams that are left fighting for the Lombardi Trophy on Sunday. Probably by game day, I'll be fired up. But normally 48 hours out, I'm pretty ready, pretty excited for the Super Bowl, and it's just taken me a lot longer than usual to get pumped up for this game.
Yeah, no, I'm ready for it, and this is coming from a Rams fan where we were this close to getting in there, but
I mean,
I'm
are
ready.
you passionately rooting against Seattle?
No, because I mean I love Cooper Kupp. I hope they win it. I hope they get another one. I mean I won't say I hope. Let me take that
About
back.
to say, I did not want Houston winning it if Jacksonville couldn't. There's no way.
Well, I mean, I like D'Amico Ryans and what he's done.
I'm just talking about the division rival aspect of it.
No. I mean, yeah. I mean, in that aspect, I hope Seattle doesn't win. But it's the Super Bowl is like nothing that we have in sports. I mean, I think it's the greatest culmination of a sports season, like the end season game that we have in all sports here. It's nothing like it. Everybody's watching. And people across the world are watching.
Yeah, I'll watch it. Like I said, we're going to have people over. We're going to have a nice spread. Can't wait to do that on Sunday. I think there's a stogie, a cigar in my future before the game with a few buddies.
There we go.
And then we're going to all get together and watch it. So, yeah, I'll be into it. But, again, it's Seattle. You don't see a lot of them. New England, I didn't see a lot of them during the year. Mahomes, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson, Justin Herbert, Trevor Lawrence, CJ Stroud. No, it's Drake May. And kudos to Drake May. By the way, what an incredible vote last night. Stafford, your guy, wins the MVP in one of the closest races ever for the most valuable player. Stafford wins it by a smidge over Drake May. And then, of course, Stafford announced last night that he is indeed coming back. But as far as the game goes, all right, two great storylines for each team. Number one, New England and Mike Vrabel. It's a great story. Vrabel won Coach of the Year. I know people here were upset about that. I thought Liam Cohen should have won it. Because remember, you're supposed to vote on that thing at the end of the regular season. I think the votes are all tallied before the playoffs even start. I mean, if you voted now, then obviously Vrabel, because he's got him in the Super Bowl. But I think after Week 18 is when those votes are tabulated. Vrabel won by 3 votes. He had 19 first-place votes. Liam Cohen had 16. So Cohen was right there. I thought Cohen should have won it, but I understand why Vrabel did, because he did a heck of a job. New England was 4-13 last year, too, just like Jacksonville. And New England had a quarterback in Drake May that did not have the preseason hype that Trevor Lawrence did coming into the year. And New England goes 14-3 in the regular season, has now won 3 playoff games to get to 17-3. An absolutely incredible turnaround for Mike Vrabel and what he's done with the New England Patriots. And then on the other side, Seattle with Sam Darnold. I mean, you want to talk about one of the greatest comeback stories on the field. That's what this would be. From being a top 5 bust, the word was there. Sam Darnold was a bust in New York. I don't think I'm understating that. He was a bust. He then goes and has a cup of coffee in Carolina, a cup of coffee in San Francisco. He's bouncing around, a team per year. Then he goes to Minnesota last year, rejuvenates his career. They opt to go with J.J. McCarthy, who they spent a first-round pick on. So Darnold, again, for the 4th year in a row, has to go to a different team. He lands in Seattle, replacing one of their favorites in Geno Smith. And here Sam Darnold is having the season of his life, going 14-3 in the regular season for the 2nd consecutive year. My man's gone 28-6. The last 2 years as a starting quarterback, absolutely obliterating San Francisco in the divisional round, out-dueling Matt Stafford, the league MVP, in the NFC Championship game. And now Sam Darnold is 1 win away from what I think would be one of, if not the greatest comeback stories that an NFL quarterback's ever had. How many guys were completely left out to pasture, called a bust for being a top 5 disappointment, only to turn around a handful of years later and lead a team to a world championship? Not very many. So I think certainly it would be a great story either way, if Vrabel and the Patriots win or if Sam Darnold and Seattle wins. Here's the way I see it. And as a guy that really doesn't have a dog in the fight, I just want a competitive game in the fourth quarter. I want it to be nail-biting time with 5 minutes to go. Seattle, to me, is the better team. They are the better team. Now, will they win the game? Yeah. If they don't turn the ball over and they don't commit stupid penalties, the Seattle Seahawks should win the game. But the one thing New England has shown all year is in games like this, they force turnovers. They force good teams into maybe doing things that they usually do not do. So, I think if Seattle plays their game, they will win by 10 points. Seattle, to me, would need to help New England by turning the ball over, committing stupid penalties, etc. I don't believe they will do that. I think the Seattle Seahawks at the end of Sunday night will be hoisting up the Lombardi Trophy and give me Sam Darnold as the Super Bowl MVP in what would absolutely be the cherry on top of one of the greatest comeback stories in NFL history. Aaron, who wins the game on Sunday night?
Seattle wins, but it's not going to be as big as everybody thinks it's going to be. I told Rick earlier I got 30-27 Seattle.
You like a high-scoring game. Two good defenses, but you like a high-scoring game.
And my Super Bowl MVP would be Jackson Smith-Njigba.
He would be the other one. Let me ask you this. Darnold and Jackson Smith-Njigba are the two obvious ones. Maybe Kenneth Walker. If Seattle wins, take those three off the board. Is there an under-the-radar guy that you might put a matchstick or two on that would win you a lot of money in Vegas to be the MVP if it's not Darnold, JSN, or Kenneth Walker?
The former Super Bowl MVP, Cooper Kupp.
Cooper Kupp. I'll give you one. I thought about Shaheed, but I think he's kind of obvious too. That tight end, is it Barner?
A.J. Barner?
That guy's a stud, man.
Yeah, he is.
I like everything about that guy. That guy is a stud. And I think you could get him at a pretty good rate in Vegas to be the MVP. That, to me, is my dark horse MVP, is Barner. I'm going to take Darnold, but I think Barner's going to have a big, big game for Seattle, and I do like them to win at the end of Sunday evening. We'll talk more about the Super Bowl. Again, one of the biggest Patriot fans that I know, my lovely wife, Heidi, is going to join us coming up here later on in the 9 o'clock hour. She will probably not like the fact that I took Seattle, but we'll get her thoughts on the game coming up on Sunday. With the game coming up on Sunday, that means the season comes to an end, officially. And all eyes now turn to 2026 starting on Monday. The offseason is here, and the offseason's going to start happening very quickly. NFL Scouting Combine. They will be on the field in Indianapolis 3 weeks from today. 1 month from next Tuesday is when free agency officially begins on Monday, March the 9th. Let's talk Jacksonville, but we talk a lot about Jacksonville. Let's talk Houston, Tennessee, and Indianapolis. What are the big stories in the AFC South heading into the offseason for each of the AFC South teams? My buddy Mike Patton, he is the host of the Touring the AFC South podcast. He's also a contributor for the Sporting News, and he joins us next on a Friday night here in Northeast Florida, heading in to Super Bowl weekend. Jacksonville, we're glad you're with us. Hacker After Dark on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
Serving up sports takes and breakfast flakes.
And I'm not talking just football. I am talking basketball, baseball. Gee, all the things I really care about.
Put some spring in your step with The Drill. Dan Hicken and Jeff Prosser. Mornings on 1010XL.
Hey, Hicken here. I couldn't be any happier than to join the George Moore Chevrolet family. When I say family, I mean it. Visit their beautiful showroom today off Atlantic Boulevard. Find out exactly what I'm talking about. No pressure, just friendly help. And whether you want a car, a truck, SUV, electric, pre-owned, you name it, George Moore Chevrolet has it. And if you can't make it over to Atlantic Boulevard, no problem. MooreChevy.com is easy to navigate as any site you will try. It's never been more easy to use. George Moore Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
David Lane here, and once again, I'm happy to share news of my successful back and knee surgeries at Southeast Orthopedic Specialist. Whatever it is that's bothering you, take it from me. Simply set an appointment today at Southeast Orthopedic Specialist and let them help you get back to normal life. I'm certainly glad I did.
Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Life happens every day, and sometimes it gets in the way. That's why 1010XL makes it easy to listen to your favorites. If you missed it, get it on demand
at 1010XL.com.
Channeled by Duck Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic and Air Conditioning.
I'm here with Danny Van Sickle, Director of the Electrical Training Alliance. Danny, tell me about your program.
Hey, Rick. We're a 4-year electrical apprenticeship. Our students start out making over $40,000 a year, and right now make over $90,000 a year, including benefits. There is no tuition or student debt. You just have to apply and get accepted.
Did you say no tuition and no student debt?
You heard that right, Rick. Once you're accepted to the program, your only cost for the books and the course fees. About $800 a year.
That sounds like an amazing opportunity. How can I learn more?
Just go to etajax.org, and you can apply there.
Apply by May 14th.
Let's talk about the sound no homeowner wants to hear. Drip, drip, drip. Still dripping. That's exactly why Duck Duck Rooter created the Love Your Pipes promotion. Plumbing problems don't scare us. Not with years of experience and honest upfront pricing on our side. Right now, you can get free plumbing assessment on all fixtures with any paid plumbing service. It's the smart move to fix the issue now before it becomes bigger. So when you're stuck, call the Duck, 904-862-6769, duckduckrooter.com.
Hi, I'm Mac with Baker Glass. If you've got fogged up windows, let me help. We'll replace them with clear, insulated units that brighten up your home. People say we're fast, friendly, and reliable. Just check out our Google reviews. Call me today. Baker Glass. No one treats you better.
Hi, I'm Chef Franklin Becker. You know the jingle. Now discover the facts about Ozempic, a GLP-1. There's only one FDA-approved Ozempic made by Novo Nordisk. Learn about the real thing.
Talk to your healthcare professional today. Call 1-833-OZEMPIC or visit Ozempic.com to view the medication guide and to learn more about Ozempic. Semaglutide injection 0.5, 1, and 2 milligrams.
Hey, it's Travis from Cannons of Jacks. When you need a trailer hitch, gooseneck, or RV towing options, call us at Cannons. We've been doing it for 55 years, and customer service is our #1 priority. Visit cannonsofjacks.com.
Is your backyard ready for the big leagues? Pick it here for Surfside Pools. Serving Northeast Florida since 1977, they have the home field advantage. Family owned and operated, offering weekly pool service, equipment repairs, commercial maintenance, remodels, and new pool construction. Let Surfside Pools make your backyard dreams a reality. Are you ready to float happy? Visit surfsidepools.net or call 904-246-2666. Surfside Pools and Spas, your hometown MVP.
License number CPC 044080.
The Brown Family YMCA in Ponte Vedra Beach is better than ever. Come experience our new renovated spaces, including an expanded wellness center with upgraded state-of-the-art equipment, recovery solutions, brand new locker rooms, and the Horsell Center for Health and Well-Being, all designed to help you feel your best. And now you can join with no joining fee. Plus, enjoy your 4th month free. There's no place like this place. And you'll love what's new. Visit the Brown Family YMCA in Ponte Vedra Beach.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focus, fueled, fearless, Farah. Here's another call on the 1010XL hotline, driven by Key Buick GMC, home of the lifetime powertrain warranty.
Back here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM in the city of Jacksonville, we are glad you are with us. Super Bowl 60 comes up on Sunday between the Seahawks and the Patriots, and then it's full steam ahead, right, at 2026. There's certainly been some interesting things already this offseason in the AFC South. We have a brand new head coach, Robert Saleh, up there in Nashville. The fact that both Grant Udinski and Anthony Campanile are coming back to Jacksonville for 2026. Some interesting things in both Indianapolis and Houston as well. Let's talk about all of it with Mike Patton. He is the host of the Touring the AFC South podcast. He is also part of the Sporting News, and Mike's always kind enough to join us here on 1010XL. Mike, how you doing?
Doing great. How are you?
Hey, Mike, we're good. Thank you so much for the time. All right, your thoughts overall. I haven't spoke with you since the Jaguar season came to an end. Obviously, a pretty successful year for Liam Cohen. Year number 1 from 4-13 to 13-4. Mike, what were your thoughts on what the Jaguars accomplished?
I thought it was a great accomplishment. I thought he actually made a statement in terms of what this team was going to be in terms of defensively and offensively, and it really progressed towards the end of the year, especially with Trevor Lawrence and his progression and how he seemed to have taken that jump to the next level under Liam Cohen. So definitely very successful season for the Jacksonville Jaguars, and very promising going into next season as well.
Well, look, I mean, the offense as a whole, obviously Trevor did some amazing things, but, the emergence of guys like Parker Washington and Brenton Strange, I mean, clearly this offense looks like they're going to be good for a while because they got a young nucleus here that's going to build together.
Right, definitely. They definitely look like that. One thing I also looked at as well is that, Brian Thomas Jr., despite the drops and things like that, they didn't have to depend on him as much with the other pieces stepping up and, getting more opportunities in the Liam Cohen offense.
Mike Patton, the host of the Touring the AFC South podcast, with us here on 1010XL in Jacksonville. What's interesting, too, is the defensive side of the ball, Mike. Obviously, you and I have talked in years past. The Jaguars struggled mightily on defense, certainly in 2024. Anthony Campanile came in here, and the takeaways they got, and, the play of guys like Devin Lloyd and Antonio Johnson, Monteric Brown. Just speak to what you thought about the defensive side of the ball here in Jacksonville.
I think they had a coordinator that actually played to their strengths a lot more this season than last season. Campanile will definitely put Devin Lloyd in positions to succeed, as well as Antonio Johnson, Monteric Brown, and other guys on the Jacksonville defense. They were more opportunistic, but they were in the right spaces and time, and they actually came up with plays in critical situations. Unlike years past. And then also the biggest thing, they were able to stop the run this year, where they were one of the top teams in the NFL at stopping the run, which you usually could not say that about Jacksonville in the past few years.
There were definitely a lot of questions about Campanile and Udinski coming back. We know Udinski was a finalist for the Cleveland job. It appears Camp was a finalist for the Arizona job, but ultimately both guys are going to be back with Liam Cohen in 2026. Mike, how big a deal is that in your opinion?
That's huge because you have continuity in terms of the program, the things that you're requiring from different players on both sides of the ball. So that is huge for Jacksonville to have that continuity, along with Liam Cohen still being the head coach as well.
Two big decisions for Jacksonville, or certainly there's a number of big decisions, but the two biggest ones are Devin Lloyd on the defensive side of the ball, Travis Etienne on the offensive side of the ball. Both guys set to hit free agency in a little over a month. What's your thought on both guys?
I think Devin Lloyd is going to have a really wide-ranging market. It's going to be interesting to see if Jacksonville prioritizes bringing him back as opposed to cap space and all those different things that are going to factor in. As far as Travis Etienne, I do think that he's probably played his last year in Jacksonville, and I think he ends up somewhere else. And they trend towards going towards the younger running backs, and kind of a running back by committee situation.
Couple of more from Mike Patton, touring the AFC South podcast. He's also with the Sporting News, and he's with us here on 1010XL in Jacksonville. Mike, you're based up in Nashville. Certainly it's been a busy offseason for the Titans. Let's begin with Robert Saleh. The interesting thing is Saleh was linked to Jacksonville a year ago when Trent Baalke was still here. That obviously did not happen. Liam Cohen came in. Saleh does get the job with the Titans. What is your thought on that fit?
I think the fit is something that is needed for the Tennessee Titans. He's a leader of men. I know people have said that a lot. I know also that people have pointed to his record with the Jets. But, in my opinion, it wasn't necessarily the greatest situation. I'm not saying that Tennessee is the greatest situation, but it's better than the New York Jets situation. He comes in and actually brings an attitude about him, an energy about him that this team needs, and that the leadership guys, which would be Jeffrey Simmons and Cameron Ward, are definitely buying into when it comes to him. So definitely think this is a good hire for the Tennessee Titans.
They fired Mike Vrabel 2 years ago, and boy, obviously that looks like a mistake now. And now they bring in a guy in Robert Saleh who, look, has a lot of Mike Vrabel tendencies, right? I mean, defensive guy, leader of men, that sort of thing. The hiring of Saleh, is that just flat out admitting the mistake they made by letting Vrabel go?
I don't think it's admitting any type of mistake or anything like that, because there are a lot of different things I believe that went into the firing of Vrabel. That probably, I know everyone looks at it as a mistake now, and I totally get it. But at that point in time, there was a lot of other things going on that probably went into that firing. But I don't think this necessarily is an admitting of a mistake. I think it's an admitting of a mistake, maybe going with Brian Callahan as the head coach, but not admitting in terms of a Vrabel mistake. I don't think that's an admission there.
As far as the coordinators that Robert Saleh has brought in, certainly some name value, right? Brian Dable on offense and former Jaguar head coach Gus Bradley on defense. What's been the thought up there about the two coordinators?
Well, I will say this about Brian Dable. Everyone that I've listened to, talked to, analysts have definitely been, glowing in reviews of Brian Dable. They reach out to, of course, the Josh Allen, growth under him, and see, maybe Cam Ward can have that type of growth as well. Not saying that Cam Ward is Josh Allen, of course, obviously, but just saying that that type of growth potentially could be there and under Daboll and his system and how he does things. And as far as Gus Bradley, a lot of people just kind of really view that more as someone that's kind of like a lieutenant for Robert Saleh, because since Robert Saleh is going to be calling defensive plays, so someone that actually understands his scheme, understands what he wants to do, and these two have a connection all the way going back to Seattle when the Legion of Boom was there. And he was actually, Robert Saleh was a defensive quality control coach under Gus Bradley, actually back in Seattle during those times. So these two go way back. They understand each other in and out. And I think the synergy between those two should be, seamless.
They have a ton of cap room. How active are they going to be in free agency?
I expect them to be pretty active, most notably probably with edge rushers and maybe at the cornerback position, because they definitely do need some help there. Of course, the decision on L'Jarius Sneed and Calvin Ridley, which plenty have rumored that they would be released. We don't know the exact answer yet, but, it's very possible it could happen. So I expect them to be pretty active there at those positions, as well as at the wide receiver position as well, potentially getting some more help for Cam Ward there.
Let's quickly talk about the other two teams, Mike. Again, Mike Patton, the Touring the AFC South podcast. As far as Houston goes, bad ending to their season. Obviously, C.J. Stroud did not play well in that loss to New England. Is there concern in Houston about C.J. Stroud, in your opinion, moving forward?
There should be. If they're not going to say it out loud, there should be, because there's been a regression in the last couple of years. Some of that I would say is, you do change an offensive coordinator that he's comfortable with, Bobby Slowick, to a guy from the Shanahan tree that you bring in from the Rams. That didn't necessarily go well this year. So there is some concern there. Hopefully for them, some continuity in this offense will help C.J. Stroud going into next year, which is a critical year for him, of course, obviously, because, of course, he's extension eligible. So that'll be something to look at also there. But there's definitely some concern there when it comes to C.J. Stroud.
And it's, you don't want to say they're wasting that defense, but, they kind of are, right? That defense has been really, really good for the last couple of years, and guys like Danielle Hunter aren't going to get any younger. They got to, if they're going to do something while they have that defense intact, they probably got to do it next year.
That's correct. You're absolutely correct. And, it's going to be interesting just to see what things they do to kind of, I guess, keep some of the pieces that may be looking for more money. I believe Azeez Al-Shire, I believe he's actually I believe he may be up for an extension this offseason. So that'll be something to watch. And just in general, yes, they cannot waste this defense, because, of course, you don't know how long this defense is going to be playing at this type of level.
And finally, Mike, to Indianapolis. Look, I guess the big question there going into the offseason is what are they going to do at quarterback? Daniel Jones is a free agent. Of course, he has an Achilles, so who knows how healthy he will be come September. Anthony Richardson, you'd think that ship might have sailed as well. They got serious questions at the quarterback position in Indy.
Very much so. I mean, you would think they're probably going to bring back Daniel Jones. If they do bring it back, it'll probably be a one-year deal. It should be a one-year deal, in my opinion. But, of course, the questions are there. But also, just looking around, one other quarterback that I just personally think would fit their system be Malik Willis. Malik Willis actually played well as a backup quarterback for the Green Bay Packers, and he fits in that Shane Steichen style of offense with being able to use his feet as well as the arm talent that he has shown. So, to me, that's a name they should actually be looking at as well, provided, what their feelings are for Daniel Jones and his healing factor in terms of going into next season and if he'll be, right for the season.
When you start talking about hot seats heading into 2026, Shane Steichen's going to be among the top in the league, correct, going into next year?
I believe his seat should be a little warm. I believe that Chris Ballard's seat should be in Fuego right now. So, to be honest, both of them should be feeling a little bit of a temperature rise on their seats right now.
Leave us with this. Super Bowl 60 on Sunday, Patriots-Seahawks. Who do you like in the game?
I like the Seahawks to win this game. I just look at them in terms of their defense is pretty dominating. They face probably a little bit tougher road. I will say that, they blew out the 49ers. I understand that. But they did face a little bit of tougher road, in my opinion. And I think they're the more complete team here going into this game. So I know plenty of people will say that Mike Vrabel and Drake May and how they played and things like that. But let's just be honest here. The Seahawks, that defense, I don't think the Seahawks, I understand they face the Texans, but I think the Seahawks will make life even more hard on the Patriots in this game, and I got them winning this game by at least a score, at least a touchdown score.
Mike, tell the good folks here in Jacksonville about the Touring the AFC South podcast, also your work on the sporting news, where they can find you.
Well, of course, as far as showing the AFC South, you can find that on the Mike Pat Network on YouTube, as well as on all listening platforms, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, you name it, we're there. And also, as far as the sporting news, just look me up, Mike Patton on there. I've talked about a lot of things going on in Jacksonville, what I think should happen with Travis Hunter in terms of next year and what position he should play, as well as many other things in regards to the AFC South at the Sporting News.
Mike, I know you're busy, man. Thank you as always for the time, and we'll talk again soon, pal.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Streaming live from the XL Digital Studios, polished by Harbor Dental Care, the locally owned smile restoration experts.
Rick Ballou for Coy Dental. That's right, Carlson Dental is now Coy Dental. Dr. Lee has been practicing there for 9 years, has purchased the company. The Coy Dental team still has the same great dentists and staff. And remember, if you get nervous visiting a dentist, don't. There's never a problem at Coy Dental, with light sedation for cleaning and deep sedation for all your restorative needs. Coy Dental, located in Bartram Park.
Game days aren't the only win happening in the 904. Best of Bold City named 904 Gutters with a Z the #1 seamless gutter company in Duval. Like the team's O-line protects their QB. Call the winning team at 904 Gutters with a Z to protect your home from the rain.
If you are an experienced electrician looking for your next big opportunity, look no further than the Miller Electric Company, a trusted name in the industry for over 96 years. At Miller Electric, we tackle the biggest projects in the city, offering you the chance to showcase your skills on a grand scale. We believe in rewarding hard work with the best pay, top-notch benefits, and an unbeatable culture where people actually care about each other. Take your career to new heights with Miller Electric Company. Apply today at millercareers.com. Miller Electric, an equal opportunity employer.
Checkmate. I'm Brendan Cecilia, founder of Checkmate Coatings.
And I'm Chester, company mascot at your service.
There are 2 important steps to installing the perfect garage floor. The 2-stage coating application, sure, but nothing is more important than preparing the floor. Our team uses diamond grinding machines to grind your floors to a smooth, level finish. Only then can we...
Hold on! You grind garage floors with perfectly lovely diamonds!
No, Chester. We grind floors to perfection using the very best ugly diamonds. Too ugly for jewelry, but perfect for the grinding pads we use to prep the surface.
Perfect preparation and application. Now that's a perfect marriage.
Ugly diamonds?
Check. Perfect preparation?
Check. Smooth, gorgeous, gleaming floors that really catch your eye? Checkmate!
Transforming your floors, making them great. Checkmate.
Visit checkmatecoatings.com.
Greenlaw Group is for the insured. If you think you have roof damage, call 904-302-7055 today, and they will schedule you a free roof inspection. Trust their law firm to help you fight your insurance when you need it. These storms can cause damage you may not even see yet. Call Greenlaw Group 302-7055. There's no cost to retain their law firm and no cost to have your roof inspected. They only get paid if you win. Greenlaw Group, for the insured.
Frank Frangie here for Coil Fencing. Since 1927, Jacksonville has trusted Coil Fencing to protect what matters. And I trust them too. From tough chain link to your commercial project to sleek aluminum fencing your HOA will love, Coil does it all. Did you know that Coil can also install, service, and maintain those automatic gates that help protect your neighborhood or business? To schedule a complimentary consultation, visit CoilJacks.com. That's C-O-Y-L-E, Jacks.com. Coil Fencing, A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Spring is almost here. Is your yard ready? Lucas Tree Service, a family-owned business with over 45 years of experience, is your local certified arborist for tree removal, trimming, and stump grinding for residential or commercial properties. Protect your home, boost your curb appeal, and get top-notch service from a Jacksonville company. Make sure your trees are healthy and safe before summer hits. Schedule your tree inspection today at lucastreeservice.com.
Tara Loggeman here for Local Fair Jacks. Fresh, local produce, eggs, and meat delivered right to your door. It's where Jeff and I shop because we know exactly where our food is coming from. There's no scary recalls, just trusted local farmers. Visit localfairjacks.com.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still, present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch. Hacker After Dark on 1010XL.
Yes, it is. Glad you're with us. 1010XL, 92.5 FM. Thank you to Mike Patton, the host of the Touring the AFC South podcast. So last night, speaking of the AFC South, a great showing by Jacksonville. Obviously, Liam Cohen was up for Coach of the Year. Trevor Lawrence was up for Comeback Player of the Year and the league's most valuable player. They did not win, but the exposure that Jacksonville got. I mean, Liam Cohen and Trevor Lawrence being interviewed on the red carpet, and Liam making the rounds on McAfee and on NFL Network and ESPN, and Trevor doing all the national shows as well. It's been a long time since Jacksonville's starting quarterback and head coach have gotten that much love during Super Bowl week, which is a testament to the job that was done here by both of those guys in 2025. As far as last night goes, I said earlier, I thought Liam Cohen should have won Coach of the Year. Perhaps I'm a little biased, I'll admit that, but I don't think there is a coach out there that did a better job than Liam Cohen. That includes Mike Vrabel. But I also do think Mike Vrabel did do a very, very good job. And if Liam Cohen was to lose the award, I would not be overly upset if it was Mike Vrabel. Vrabel beat him out 19 first-place votes to 16. So well-deserved on Vrabel's part. I would have voted for Cohen, but I understand why Vrabel ultimately won. Comeback Player of the Year, I thought Trevor probably should have been more in consideration. I know he was down the list. Christian McCaffrey wins the award. I mean, what are you going to say? The guy's incredible, coming back from injury. Very little issue with that. Most valuable player, obviously Trevor finished considerably down the ballot, but he was a finalist, which was awesome to see. But what a close vote between Matt Stafford and Drake May. One of the closest MVP votes that we've ever had. in the National Football League. Stafford won by a whisker, basically, like 5 points, a couple of first-place votes. I mean, it was close between May and Stafford. And then Stafford gets on stage last night with his daughters and announces that he is coming back for the 2026 season. Aaron Williams, you are a diehard LA Rams fan. Your thoughts one night ago when your quarterback, A, won the Most Valuable Player award, and B, announced he's coming back next season?
I anticipated him winning. I think he should have won, and it's well-deserved. I don't think that it should have been that close, and that's not trying to take anything away from Drake May, because I think he had a great season. I just think Stafford was just that much better.
Why do you think it was close?
I give Drake May his flowers. I think it's because of the outstanding season that he's had. I mean, he had to deal with a lot himself.
I'll tell you why I think it was close, because even though he has Stephon Diggs, the bottom line is Stafford has 2 of the top 10 wide receivers in football when they're healthy. And that's a bit, I mean, look, Stafford's a great player, but he's got ridiculous talent around him, where Drake May, I mean, outside of Stephon Diggs, what does he really have? And he still put up crazy numbers as well. I actually somewhat think that worked against Stafford a little bit. Now, I thought Stafford should have won it too, but when you're throwing the ball to Puka Nacua and Devontae Adams compared to throwing it to Stephon Diggs and Mac Hollins, you know what I mean? There's something to be said for that.
I agree with that, but when you're playing against Seattle twice, San Francisco twice, you're playing against they play the Eagles and stuff like that. I mean, that, and it's not as if, Puka has been with Matt his entire career. I mean, I don't think Puka would have been the receiver that he is with just any other quarterback.
What was your reaction to Stafford announcing he's coming back?
I think Sean McVay's face said it all. I mean, he was pumped, and I believe that was genuine. I think Sean McVay had no idea.
Was there any concern that he wasn't coming back?
I don't think so. I thought he would come back because this is what I think. I think he truly wants to win a second Super Bowl. Had they won it this year, I believe he would have retired.
And next year, you have the added bonus of the game being in L.A., the Super Bowl being in L.A., which is what he alluded to last night. Now, I do think next year might be his final year.
I do, too, and that's why and what better way to go out, getting a Super Bowl, not only getting another one, but doing it, where it started for you. Well, not started for you, but coming back here where you won your first one, you have a chance to do it all again with those guys.
Quickly to the Hall of Fame last night. Look, I have very little issue with anybody that got in, and I'll tell you, to me, what's not very fair, and it has absolutely nothing to do with Roger Craig, but I saw some people kind of giving him the business a little bit because he got in basically over Bill Belichick. I mean, let's call it what it is. He was in that pod with Belichick, and Roger Craig got in. Craig should have been in a long time ago. I actually, honest to goodness, before I saw him on the list, I didn't know Roger Craig wasn't in the Hall of Fame. I was stunned when I found that out. Terrific football player, long overdue, no issue with Roger Craig going in. Larry Fitzgerald, I mean, one of the best wide receivers that's ever played. There's no argument there. I mean, that guy, you knew when he retired, you knew 5 years from now he was going in on the first ballot. Larry Fitzgerald was a sensational wide receiver. Drew Brees, same thing. One of the greatest quarterbacks that's ever lived. Statistically, he's top 5 in almost every major category. Drew Brees, a surefire, I should say, no doubt, first ballot Hall of Famer. So Fitzgerald and Brees with Roger Craig, no issue. All right, Luke Kuechly, really good player. I mean, really good player. But he played for 8 years, right? And I know that they put Patrick Willis in, I think on his first ballot or first or second ballot, kind of the same argument. Kuechly, I believe, is the second youngest person to actually be voted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. I mean, Luke Kuechly right now can't be but 34, 35 years old. He retired at like 29 or 30. Again, he just didn't play very long. Now, he was a Pro Bowler like 7 times. He was a 5-time All-Pro. I mean, the guy was a beast. But when a guy like Tony Boselli has to wait year after year after year, and the argument was longevity, well, why did Kuechly get in so quickly? I don't know. I mean, you look at the guys that didn't get in. Eli Manning didn't get in. Reggie Wayne didn't get in. Torrey Holt didn't get in. Frank Gore didn't get in, and Luke Kuechly did. All right, that's interesting, I guess. Kuechly, I think, one day should have gotten in. I'm not saying that. I just don't know if it should have been last night. And then Vinatieri, I mean, look, the guy is responsible for arguably the biggest kick in the history of the NFL, which was the Tuck Rule game in the snow between, at that time, Oakland and New England. The guy literally won 2 Super Bowls. He beat the Rams in 01, and beat the Panthers in 03 at the final play of the game. He was considered to be the greatest kicker in the history of football, certainly the most clutch kicker in the history of football. I've seen a little pushback from people today about Vinatieri getting in. I don't know what to tell you. The guy was money in the clutch. There's only been 59 Super Bowls played. That guy literally won 2 of them on the final play of the game. And he also made, again, arguably the biggest postseason kick in history in the Tuck Rule game against the Raiders. Excuse me. So I have very little issue with Vinatieri getting in. So overall, it's a very strong, very good class. It's just, my thoughts on Eli Manning. I mean, the guy's a 2-time Super Bowl MVP. How is a 2-time Super Bowl MVP not in on his first or second year on the ballot, and yet Luke Kuechly gets in? That to me is the one that I would like to have a conversation with the voters about. But that's what makes it fun, right? That's what makes the world go round. That's the Hall of Fame class. And again, I thought it was a great night for the NFL. That NFL honors thing is done right. I wasn't a big fan of it because it was new, and they've only been doing it now for a few years, but it's becoming a bigger deal every year, and I really enjoyed watching that one night ago. We're getting into the 9 o'clock hour, close to the 9 o'clock hour. We'll take you up till 10 o'clock, Jacksonville, as we do every night right here on Hacker After Dark. We'll talk a little college hoops coming up. Florida with a big one tomorrow night against Texas A&M. You'll hear it right here on 1010XL. We will also recap what was a very active NBA trade deadline, but perhaps the 2 biggest stories were the guys that did not get traded. Brian Toporek, Bleacher Report, and Forbes joins us in less than 15 minutes. We're glad you're with us on a Friday, heading into Super Bowl weekend with Aaron Williams, the Hacker Ryan Green with you here on Hacker After Dark.
He's a recent play-by-play, has been on the radio for more than 100 years.
There's a drive, way back, it might be, it could be, and
Your home for live play-by-play is 1010XL.
Hello, I'm Ed Jackson, president of Ned Jackson Income Tax. Ned Jackson Income Tax has been preparing tax returns in Jacksonville for over 80 years. Our tax preparers at Ned Jackson Income Tax have years of knowledge and experience to help you get your highest possible tax refund and are fully trained on all IRS updates, including the One Big Beautiful Bill. Visit one of Ned Jackson's 4 locations, including our downtown office at 255 North Liberty Street. That's Ned Jackson Income Tax, 356-0349.
Hey folks, Rick Ballou here from the Blue Crab Crab House. February means the Mardi Gras menu returns to the Blue Crab Crab House. Gumbo, shrimp Orleans, blackened redfish, appetizers, dessert, and more. This includes, of course, their regular menu where you get crabs from the Alaskan waters, the Canadian waters, the Southern Georgia waters. It's only at the Blue Crab Crab House. Doors open at 4:30, San Jose, and, of course, Julington Creek Road.
Finding the perfect romantic gift she'll treasure forever? It's easier than you think at Beard's Diamonds this Valentine's Day. We've curated a stunning selection of timeless, affordable jewelry she'll absolutely love. Dazzling rings, sparkling earrings, elegant pendants and bracelets, set with brilliant diamonds or colorful gemstones. Classic gold that never goes out of style. And you can't beat the wow factor of top brand designer jewelry. At Beard's, we've got it all under one roof. And right now, we're cranking up the romance with an unbeatable limited time offer. Save up to 40% on all diamond stud earrings, pendants, and tennis bracelets. Imagine her face lighting up when she opens that signature Beard's box on February 14th. Pure magic that lasts a lifetime. Guys, cards, flowers, and candy are sweet, but nothing says I love you forever like a sparkling gift she'll wear and cherish every single day. And that gift is on major sale right now. Plus, Beard's is your local Jacksonville jeweler, family owned and community strong for over 45 years. Right here in the St. John's Town Center. Not some Wall Street chain. We're your neighbors, and we're here for you. Hurry in today. Don't wait. Beard's Diamonds, St. John's Town Center.
Big personalities, bold opinions. Lunch just got louder. Josie, Matt, and Leon are XL Prime Time from the big #1 Duval Ford Studios.
Any questions? Yeah, when's lunch?
Noon to 2 on 1010 XL.
Leading the JU Dolphins to an NCAA Division I championship in 1970, Artis Gilmore still holds the highest career rebounding average in Division I history. Gilmore played in the ABA and in the NBA and was inducted into the Naismith Memorial Basketball Hall of Fame in 2011. Gilmore also serves as a special assistant to the president for Jacksonville University. I'm E.T., and this Black History Month profile on 1010XL is brought to you by Instant Keys. Fast, professional, honest locksmith service.
There's joy in every RV journey. Your journey starts at the Jacksonville RV Mega Show, Thursday, February 5th through Sunday the 8th at the Jacksonville Equestrian Center. It's Northeast Florida's largest RV show with hundreds of RVs on display with lifestyle booths. Adults $10, kids under 12 free. Seniors get $1 off Thursday. Military and first responders get $1 off every day. Thursday through Saturday from 10 to 5, Sunday 10 to 4. The Jacksonville RV Mega Show at the Jacksonville Equestrian Center.
For nearly 60 years, Green Acres Sporting Goods at the corner of Normandy and Hammond Boulevard has been Jacksonville's trusted name for the outdoors. From archery to hunting and fishing and more, their expert staff helps you get it right the first time. Right now, stop in and try the newest bows by Hoyt and Matthews and get dialed in before spring. Gear up today at greenacresporting.com.
Lauren Brooks here for Terminix. When pests invade your home or business, you don't just need them out, you need them out fast. And you need to keep them out. At Terminix, they'll show up for you and eliminate pests quicker, just like they did at my house, because they care about what matters most to you. When pests show up, so does Terminix. Don't live with a pest problem, Terminix it. Visit Terminix.com today to schedule a free inspection online. That's TERMINIX.com. That's right, Terminix it.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch. Hacker After Dark on 1010XL.
Is this Bon Jovi? This is Bon Jovi.
Oh, yeah.
Man, you're stirring up some awful memories. Any Jaguar fan, when they hear Bon Jovi now, will instantly go back to January 21st, 2018. Jacksonville leading New England by 10 in the fourth quarter at Gillette Stadium. They put Bon Jovi on the board at Gillette Stadium with Patriots owner Robert Kraft. That stadium started belting out Living on a Prayer. I was in that stadium. I've been to Baton Rouge. I've been to Gainesville. I've been to Knoxville, Tallahassee. I've been fortunate to be to a lot of considered loud college venues. I've never in my life heard anything like Foxborough, that AFC South championship game when they put Bon Jovi on there. And Bon Jovi altered the course of Jaguar history forever. People will say Miles Jack wasn't down, and maybe the referees had a lot to do with it, but you'll never convince me that Bon Jovi wasn't a bigger factor, because that stadium and that atmosphere of that Patriot fan base changed when Bon Jovi came on that big screen, and the Patriots came back in the fourth quarter to beat Jacksonville, and One of the toughest losses in the history of the Jaguar franchise. Terrific artist, though. I'm not saying I dislike John Bon Jovi, but just brings back horrific memories every time I hear some of his stuff. All right, 9 o'clock hour is upon us here on Hacker After Dark. We'll talk a little association, a little NBA, recap the trade deadline, the moves that were made, the moves that were not made, coming up with Brian Toporek of Bleacher Report in less than 10 minutes. Speaking of basketball, a big one in the college ranks tomorrow. You'll hear it right here on 1010XL, Florida and Texas A&M. First place in the Southeastern Conference is on the line. A&M 7-2 in the SEC. Florida 7-2 in the SEC. I did a breakdown of this game earlier today with Patrick Young on the Gator Bites podcast that you can check out on 1010XL's Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, Florida Gators at 1010XL Facebook feed if you want a more in-depth breakdown with myself and former Gator great Patrick Young. Here's the bottom line. For a regular season game in February, it's a big game tomorrow night between Florida and Texas A&M. The winner has outright first place in the conference. Florida has not played since Sunday, so one would think they are well rested, having 6 days off. They are on the road against an A&M team that is coming off a heartbreaking loss to Alabama earlier this week. So A&M probably very anxious to get back out there. I'm going to be curious to watch Florida tomorrow. They were punched in the mouth by Auburn 2 weeks ago. Since that loss to Auburn, they've been a different basketball team. They beat South Carolina on the road by 47 points, and they beat Alabama, a good Alabama team, by 20-plus, making only 3 3-pointers, but still scoring 72 points in the paint. I think they finally realized they have the best front court in America. And when you look at Texas A&M, they're not the biggest team. They got 1, maybe 2 bigs. Certainly not the 4 bigs that Florida does. Florida will have a size advantage. Now, A&M and Bucky McMillan, their head coach, they're a team that likes to run, they like to jack up threes, and they like to full court press on defense. They're going to make a basket, and they're going to play defense for 94 feet. It is going to be action-packed tomorrow. That's why they play a lot of those 197 games like they played against Alabama earlier this week. Plus the fact it's on the road on a Saturday night. It's a tough environment for Florida to go into. It's going to be a good test. The next 2 games are going to be good tests for the Gators because they're 16-6. They're 7-2 in the SEC, playing terrific basketball. But tomorrow they're on the road at Texas A&M, and next Wednesday they're on the road at Georgia. 2 teams that really would love to put a win over Florida on their NCAA tournament resume. Big game tomorrow night for the Gators and Texas A&M. And, of course, you will hear it right here on 1010XL. Tip-off 8:30. You can also watch the game on the SEC network. That's the college hardwood. Let's talk a little NBA. We saw James Harden get traded. We saw Anthony Davis get traded. We saw Nick Vucevic get traded. 2 guys we did not see traded, at least yet, Giannis in Milwaukee, Ja Morant in Memphis. Let's talk about all of it with one of my NBA guys, Brian Toporek of Bleacher Report and Forbes. He's joined me for years to talk about the association, and he joins us next on a Friday night here in Northeast Florida. Jacksonville, we're here till 10 o'clock. We're glad you're with us. It's Hacker After Dark.
The path to victory starts here.
Jacksonville on the move here. First drive of the game.
1010XL, home of the Jaguars.
What a win for Jacksonville!
Next time you head into a Gate convenience store, look for Form Energy Drink, designed to provide energy, hydration, and focus straight from Dana White and AB, celebrating those who embrace grit, discipline, and resilience in their everyday lives. Check out Form Energy at a Gate convenience store.
This is Jeff Middlecoff with Cogent Bank.
My associate Ryan Salem and I joined Cogent Bank because we wanted to revolutionize the mortgage business, just like Cogent Bank has revolutionized the banking business. So Ryan Salem and I are able to leverage the power and stability of Cogent Bank to go out and find our clients the best investors, the best products, and the best rates in the entire country for your particular mortgage loan. Of course, you don't have to be a customer at Cogent Bank to take advantage of our mortgage services to buy or refinance your home. We offer jumbo loans, VA, FHA, conventional, and investment loans. At Cogent Bank, we offer mortgages nationwide, so we can help you with a second home or help a family member who lives or is moving to another state. Call Ryan Salem or myself, Jeff Middlecoff, at Cogent Bank today, 904-442-9191, to see how we can help you with any of your mortgage loan needs, whatever or wherever they may be.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender, Cogent Bank, NMLS ID 402296, Ryan Salem, NMLS ID 1182429, Jeff Middlecoff, NMLS ID 249086.
Dr. Kevin Murphy with Southeast Orthopedic Specialist, congratulating our Scholar Athlete of the Week,
Sienna Densel, senior soccer player at Fletcher High School. Sienna is a member of Interact and the Gardening Club and has applied to attend Georgia Southern. Congratulations, Sienna.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Charlie's battery is struggling to start. Not ideal before the tailgate, so he goes to AutoZone,
Welcome to AutoZone.
where a friendly AutoZoner tests his battery for free. Looks like he needs a new one, so he gets the Duralast battery.
Have fun and stay warm.
And he makes it to the tailgate early enough to get his favorite spot. Free battery testing and charging. No hassles, just help.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
The flagship station of the Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Get your tickets for the Tom Coughlin J Fund Wine Tasting Gala. Join Super Bowl winning coach Tom Coughlin at VyStar Ballpark Thursday, March 5th and raise a glass to help local families tackling childhood cancer. Enjoy hundreds of wines from around the world and food from top local restaurants. Buy tickets and learn more at tcjfund.org/wine. tcjfund.org/wine.
Make Capital Glass and Shower Doors your premier choice for top quality glass solutions. With over 40 years of expertise, their team specializes in commercial and residential projects. From elegant shower doors to modern frameless enclosures, they've got you covered. But that's not all. They also offer glass railing systems, glass wine cabinets, and much more. For unmatched quality and service, choose Capital Glass and Shower Doors. Your vision, their expertise. Visit online at capcoglass.com.
What's up, Duval? I'm Tab Valamek, owner of Purple Heart Pools, Jacksonville's veteran-owned pool company for over 10 years. We specialize in new pool construction and pool renovations, built on military values, integrity, communication, attention to detail, and honor. Now is the perfect time to start your pool project, so when the heat hits, your pool is ready. As an Iraq War veteran and Purple Heart recipient, pride in what I do is everything. Let me show you the difference in how my team and I execute your pool project with military precision. Call Purple Heart Pools, Jacksonville's veteran pool company.
I used to dread going to the dentist. Every visit felt like a sales pitch with constant upselling, surprise fees on my bill, and I could never get in when I needed to. But Harbor Dental Care? Totally different. They saw me the next day, gave me honest pricing up front, and even set me up with a payment plan I could actually afford. No pressure, no surprise charges, just kind people who get it. If you want to experience dentistry the way it should be, book your appointment today at harbordental.care. That's HARBOUR dental.care.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah. Here's another call on the 1010XL hotline, driven by Key Buick GMC, home of the lifetime powertrain warranty.
Back here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM in the city of Jacksonville, we are glad you are with us. The NBA trade deadline has come and gone. There were some big moves, but the biggest news was maybe the moves that were rumored but did not happen. Let's review the trade deadline, who helped themselves the most, who got the most depleted, and what does it mean moving forward. Brian Toporek of Bleacher Report and Forbes, one of our main NBA guys, always kind enough to join us here on 1010XL. Brian, how you doing, man?
I'm doing well. How are you, Ryan?
Brian, we're good. Thank you, as always, for the time. All right, no trade for Giannis, no trade for Ja Morant. Both were heavily rumored. At the end of the day, nothing materialized. Are you surprised that both guys stayed where they are?
Not really. I mean, I think from the Bucks' perspective, it always made more sense to move him in the offseason if they're going to do it than at the trade deadline. It's just hard to pull off a move of that magnitude, for Giannis, who's making $50+ million. Like, the salary matching alone gets complicated. A lot of teams are hard capped at either apron, so they can't go over a certain salary threshold that won't apply as much in the offseason. Teams will have additional picks to dangle. So, like, the Lakers, for instance, not really involved during the deadline, but will be in the offseason. So, no, I'm not really surprised that it happened or it didn't happen. I think it probably will in the summer.
And I was going to ask you that. Do you expect Giannis to be there opening night next season?
I don't. I mean, we'll see. Well, because right now, Atlanta has the better of New Orleans' pick and Milwaukee's pick. So, right now, both picks are looking pretty good. If both picks end up in the top 4, maybe that's enough to convince Giannis to stay. Or maybe they can dangle that package, dangle that pick and maybe get a star to convince him to stay. So I'm not ruling it out. I mean, I think, Giannis went on the press tour this week and said, like, if I had my choice, I would retire in Milwaukee. I don't want to leave Milwaukee, but I want to win another ring. And right now it's very clear that Bucks team is not built to win another ring. So we'll see. They pulled a lot of rabbits out of their hat in recent years to convince him to stay, from Drew Holiday to Damian Lillard. They tried it again this offseason with Miles Turner. That has not worked as well as they hoped, but they'll have one more opportunity. And if not, I mean, it's very clear that a lot of teams are lining up and are ready to pounce if Giannis finally pulls the trigger and says, I actually want to leave.
Bryant DePork of Bleacher Report and Forbes talking NBA with us here on 1010XL. Final Giannis question. There's been reports out there that maybe Milwaukee will shut him down. Do you foresee that happening?
In theory, no. In theory, the NBA has a player participation policy that very clearly states, star players, all-stars, guys who made an all-star team or the all-NBA team the last 3 years, they can investigate if a team, especially, in Milwaukee's case, is going to be tanking for better lottery odds. The NBA is allowed to investigate whether, like, a shutdown is medically necessary. Now, Giannis is out with the calf aggravation right now. He already injured earlier this season. Is supposed to be out for at least 4 to 6 weeks now. Considering how cautious teams have been with calves in the wake of the Achilles injuries that Jason Tatum and Tyrese Halliburton suffered in the playoffs last year, I think we get into some pretty hairy territory if, if we get to early March and the NBA says, hey, I want to investigate, is this shutdown medically necessary? Like, I think the Bucks can make a pretty credible case that, like, we genuinely do not want to risk the health of our superstar player in a lost season. So, I think Giannis came out yesterday and said he wants to come back in early March and, help with the playoff push. We'll see where the standings are at that point. I mean, the Hornets have been red hot. I think they're, looking likely to end up with the final seed. So I think it's, the Wizards, Nets, Pacers are all very much not trying this year. The Bulls just threw in the towel finally, and then I think the Bucks are probably the last team out. So I think a lot will determine on where they are in early March or mid-March, whenever Giannis is healthy enough to return. But I would be surprised if we see him again this year.
Quickly, I want to get to the deals that actually did happen, but a quick thought on Ja Morant. They trade away Desmond Bane in the offseason. Memphis does. They trade Jaren Jackson last week as well. People thought, well, they're cleaning house. Morant stays, at least for now. Is he going to be in Memphis long term?
No. They are definitely, I would imagine he is gone this summer as well. I saw a report from, I believe, Brian Windhorst of ESPN this morning that he is considered to have negative value. So teams not only were not going to give up anything of real value for him, but they were asking the Memphis to attach draft picks to take on his contract. So not a great sign. I think, once the offseason dominoes get shuffled up, we see where Giannis goes. We see if there are any other superstars on the move. At that point, a team might realize, like, we're desperate enough to do this. Maybe it's even Milwaukee. Like, maybe they try to buy low on John Morant as the way to appease Giannis moving forward. So I would be fairly surprised if John Morant is in Memphis on opening night next year. They are very clear. Trading Bane was one thing, but trading Jaren Jackson Jr. sends a very clear signal of where they are and where they expect to be over the next couple of years.
Crazy the amount of superstars that are getting traded away. All right, the trades that did happen, I guess one of the biggest ones, if not the biggest, was James Harden going from the Clippers to the Cavaliers. What does that do for Cleveland, and how will Harden fit in there?
Yeah, I actually really like the deal, and I think feels like I'm on the wrong side of this. A lot of people seem to question it for Cleveland and like it for the Clippers. James Harden is much older than Darius Garland. He is a full decade older. So I can understand the skepticism of, why are you giving up on this young core that could build together long term? And I think part of it is that, one, they haven't had any playoff success, right? They've flamed out of the playoffs early twice. Donovan Mitchell's coming up for an extension soon. There was some skepticism on Cleveland's end that he would sign it if they didn't make a major move like this. And also, we're seeing this around the league. I think in Orlando, you guys will run into this in a couple of years. Utah is about to have to deal with this in a couple of years too. OKC is. It's really hard to build around 3 or 4 guys on major salaries now. And they had, Garland was on a max deal, Evan Mobley's on a max deal, Mitchell's on a max deal, Jared Allen's earning $20 million a year. So, I don't think that this core really was going to be able to stick together more than 2 or 3 years anyway. They're the only team over the second apron right now. That comes with a lot of bad consequences. So I think they were basically saying, we're going to take 2 shots. And then James Harden's a free agent in 2027, potentially. Donovan Mitchell could be a free agent in 2027. So, this is our window, and then we're going to reevaluate after that.
Final moments, Brian Toporek of Bleacher Report and Forbes. James Harden was a big name. Brian Anthony Davis is a big name. Now, what Washington did, getting Trae Young and Anthony Davis, is eye-opening if those guys could ever stay healthy. That's
right.
The issue there, right?
Yeah, it's what they did is interesting from the perspective of, they were very slow and cautious to rebuild and accumulate assets. And, you look at what they gave up for Trae Young and Anthony Davis, and it really wasn't all that much, right? They gave up 2 first-round picks for Anthony Davis, one of which is OKC's pick this year, which is, and very likely going to be number 30 or in the late first round. The other is a top 20 protected pick from the Warriors in 2030, which, chances are that is not going to convey. So they really didn't give up a ton for him. It's really just kind of expiring salaries, 1 or 2 young guys. But, they bought really low on both of these guys. And I think the hope is that they'll help them be more competitive in the short term. Obviously, 33-year-old Anthony Davis does not factor into their long-term future, but maybe they're able to rehab his trade value a little bit as well. And once he's closer to the end of his contract, maybe they flip him to a contender and get even more assets. So I like it from their perspective, given what they gave up. The only concern is they still don't really have that face of the franchise caliber young guy. Alex Sarr is looking good. Trey Johnson is looking good. Maybe Trae Young is that. He's still not that old, but they don't have, Victor Wembanyama or Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, someone of that caliber. And now this is going to make it much harder for them to find that type of a player if they don't get lucky in the draft this year.
It was thought to be a lost year for Boston with the Tatum injury.
Yeah.
And now all of a sudden they're top 2, top 3 in the East, and they go out and get Nick Vucevic to team with, obviously, Jaylen Brown and White and all the guys there. Were you surprised Boston was a buyer at the trade deadline?
I wasn't surprised they were a buyer. I think what's impressive about them is that they managed to get under the luxury tax and really didn't make their team significantly worse. I mean, you look at other teams across the league, like the Sixers, basically dumped Jared McCain on the Thunder to get under the luxury tax. Other teams, like the Denver Nuggets, just gave away Hunter Tyson to get under the luxury tax. Boston, swapping Anthony Simons for Vucevic and then giving away a couple, end of the rotation, Xavier Tillman, those types of guys, really, arguably makes their team no worse, possibly a little better, and you get out of the luxury tax to potentially help your future. That was a really impressive job by Brad Stevens and the rest of the Celtics front office.
Porzingis to Golden State. Does that do anything for you for the Warriors?
No, it's so funny. For months, all it's been in the NBA is, where's Giannis going to go? Where's Jonathan Kuminga going to go? And then it ends with, Giannis isn't going anywhere, and Jonathan Kuminga gets flipped for Kristaps Porzingis' expiring contract. Meanwhile, we have all these big blockbusters, Jaren Jackson Jr. to the Jazz, Anthony Davis to the Wizards, Zubac to the Pacers, all of which just came out of absolute nowhere. So not a banner moment for the NBA insiders this trade deadline cycle. But no, I mean, Porzingis, if he could stay healthy, actually would be a really good fit in Golden State, I think. But he's been dealing with this medical condition now for, I think, at least 2 years. And, he came into this year saying he was better. They figured it out over the offseason. He played in Eurobasket, wasn't having any symptoms, but seems like they still have not really cracked the case on, how to keep him on the court long term. So, I think the Warriors, unfortunately, the Jimmy Butler injury, that was it for their chances of winning a title this year. We'll see if Porzingis can stay healthy, they keep him around next year, Butler's back next year. They might have one more shot, but, it's a sad end to a long, long Jonathan Kuminga saga.
Brian, as we wrap up, you mentioned guys or teams that just gave guys away. Orlando gave Tyus Jones away and the ham sandwich for basically nothing. They got cash considerations from Charlotte, and then Charlotte flipped Tyus Jones to Dallas anyway. Orlando did nothing other than that. I know they needed to get under the luxury tax. Obviously, they've been a disappointment, although they did put a pretty good beating on an awful Brooklyn team last night. I guess the bottom line is, if Franz ever gets healthy and this Orlando team is healthy, they'll be a playoff team. But were you surprised they didn't try to do anything at the deadline?
I'm not really. This is part of the concern with building around, Ford high salary young guys is it's going to get very expensive very quickly for you. So, yeah, as you mentioned, they were one of the teams that needed to cut costs however they could. And they did that with Tyus, who, hasn't really taken off how they hoped this year. The East is so wide open that, as you said, if Franz gets healthy, they'll at least have a chance. I think it's going to be interesting to see kind of what direction they go in big picture moving forward, because, as disappointing as they've been, I will say probably the brightest spot this year, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but Anthony Black has really taken off this year.
He's been
and
fantastic,
I think that, Yeah, and I think that might kind of change who they're building around moving forward. Does the emergence of Anthony Black make you more willing to move off of Jalen Suggs, especially since he hasn't been able to stay healthy over the last couple of years? So I think they just kind of need more information about how all these young guys fit together and kind of who's the best mix with who, and then you can make a more informed decision from there. But to me, that feels like more of an off-season thing.
Brian, final question, 30 seconds. Which NBA team got significantly better this week at the trade deadline? Who improved the most?
Man, the Pacers, I love the fit of Zubac, super high risk. The pick protections in 2026 protected 1 through 4 and then 10 through 30. So it's 5 through 9. It's heading to the Clippers. So high upside, high risk trade, but I that fit with Halliburton and Zubac is going to be phenomenal next year. I think OKC was actually one of the quiet winners of the deadline. Didn't do much other than the McCain trade, but they also own the Clippers fully unprotected. It's a pick swap, but they have the right to swap picks with the Clippers in 2026 have their fully unprotected pick in 2027. The Clippers just traded James Harden for Darius Garland, who can't stay healthy, and then just gave up Zubac. So, I'm not saying the Clippers are definitely going to miss the playoffs or anything, but chances are that pick is a lot better than it would have been had they stood pat. I mean, they were such a disappointment early in the season, but have been one of the best teams in the NBA over the last month. So now I think they might have a little bit of a backslide. And, we'll also see OKC also has a top 8 protected pick from Utah. Utah, pulled out a loss last night that they almost stole one from Atlanta. But, trading for Jaren Jackson Jr. and Vince Williams, theoretically going to make them better. So I'm very curious how Utah in particular navigates that, because in theory, Adam Silver and the NBA has been very sensitive about the issue of tanking lately. I think we're going to see some very creative injury designations for Lauri Markkanen, Jaren Jackson Jr., Keontae George to make sure that OKC does not get that top 8 protected pick this year.
Brian Toporek, Bleacher Report and Forbes. Brian, tell the good folks here in Jacksonville what you have coming out on the websites now that the trade deadline has come and gone.
Just a lot of trade deadline reactions still, honestly. I'm going to been doing a lot of stuff on the Sixers, obviously, and then we'll have some OKC analysis, basically that in written form. We got Daryl Morey's press conference coming up later today, so we'll have highlights from that. Well, lots of good stuff coming out over the next couple days.
Brian, I know you're busy, man. Thank you for the time. We'll talk again soon, pal.
Of course, anytime.
There's new life in Duval.
All aboard!
Get on board. This train is about to roll. 1010XL.
Valentine's Day is sweet, but let's be honest, your septic tank wants attention too. Because when it gets ignored, it doesn't sulk, it causes problems, big ones. That's why DuckDuckRooter, the only master septic contractor in Northeast Florida, is rolling out the Show Your Septic Some Love promotion. Right now, get $50 off septic tank pumping when you book by February 28th. Give your septic a little love now so it doesn't make a big scene later. When you're stuck, call the Duck, 904-862-6769, DuckDuckRooter.com.
It's your boy, Big Sirs, your lemon pepper guy. And we're in the red zone for the big game. You know I don't play when it comes to Wingstop. Here's the play call. You got to pre-order your wings by Saturday to beat the rush. Spend $50 or more, and I'm going to help you score a free large ranch. Just add the large ranch to your cart and use promo code BIGGAME. And check out that Wingstop app or wingstop.com. Spend just $50 on Wingstop pre-order by Saturday and add that free large ranch with your promo code BIGGAME.
This date in sports history is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On February 6, 2005, the New England Patriots defeated the Philadelphia Eagles 24-21 in Super Bowl 39. That was held right here in Jacksonville, Florida.
Hello, First Coast. I'm sure by now you have seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We're an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We're committed to customer service, reliability, and have an unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today from GFL, Green for Life.
Help your loved one fall back in love with his or her home with a home improvement from the professionals at the Lifetime family.
That's right, Nick. Happy Valentine's Day to all the lovebirds out there. What says I love you more than adding additional space with a glass or screen enclosure that will enhance your home's livability, or brand new floors that dramatically improve the look and feel of your home?
That's right. New outdoor living space from Lifetime Enclosures and beautiful floors from Lifetime Flooring.
Come experience the Lifetime difference. Call or visit one of our showrooms today for our Valentine's Day specials throughout February.
Lifetime Enclosures.
Ace Carline here for Atlantic Infinity, and yes, I'm still loving my new QX60. Right now, you can lease one or lock in just 1.9% financing for 60 months, and every new Infinity comes with the Atlantic Infinity Promise. That's over $7,000 in added value. That's one of many reasons why I bought mine there. No pressure, no games, just a great experience. Make your next ride an Infinity from Atlantic Infinity. Visit AtlanticInfinity.com or the showroom near Atlantic and St. John's Bluff.
Hi, I'm Sean Monahan from Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach, celebrating our 49th annual Valentine's Day sale. Come see our hand-picked inventory of thousands of pieces of fine jewelry, diamonds, and gemstones. This Valentine's Day, we have big discounts with jewelry for any budget. And with interest-free financing, you'll get the jewelry you love with a monthly payment you can afford. Monahans will also give you cash for your unwanted gold or silver, or trade it in for new jewelry and get greater value. Monahan Jewelers Valentine's Day sale with big savings in our entire inventory. Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach.
Listen up, Googans Hicken here, still talking skin. This time I want to give you some great advice for Valentine's Day. Look, don't buy anything that either dies or adds pounds. Go see the girls at Beaches Dermatology and get a gift card or even a specific skin treatment, one that will enhance her beauty, maybe even help her look like she did when y'all first met. It's possible. Skin treatment is very important, and a gift from Beaches Dermatology makes a perfect gift this Valentine's Day. For locations, go to beachesdermatology.com.
Give a unique gift this Valentine's Day to that special person in your life with a custom-made candle or body care product from Wick, a candle bar. Locations in San Marco and Jacks Beach.
Valentine's Day is coming soon, so go ahead and pre-order your floral arrangements now from Kuhn Flowers. High Flying Jacko here, and for over 75 years, Kuhn Flowers has made Valentine's Day for that special person in your life. KuhnFlowers.com.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch.
Work it, make it, do it. Makes us all better, faster, stronger.
After Dark on 1010XL.
Super Bowl 60 comes up on Sunday, Seattle and New England. So I thought, why not talk to maybe the biggest Patriots fan in Jacksonville, certainly the biggest Patriots fan that I know. My lovely wife, Heidi, will join us coming up next here on Hacker After Dark to give her thoughts on Bill Belichick not getting into the Hall of Fame, on Robert Kraft not getting into the Hall of Fame, and does she think the Patriots can knock off Seattle on Sunday? My wife, H Squared, next right here on Hacker After Dark.
Your home for Gators Hoops is 1010XL.
Florida's front court is on fire as they bring the heat to the hardwood at Texas A&M. Gators Aggies, tomorrow at 8 on 1010XL.
Greenlaw Group is for the insured. If you think you have roof damage, call 904-302-7055 today, and they will schedule you a free roof inspection. Trust their law firm to help you fight your insurance when you need it. These storms can cause damage you may not even see yet. Call Greenlaw Group 302-7055. There's no cost to retain their law firm and no cost to have your roof inspected. They only get paid if you win. Greenlaw Group, for the insured.
When your home or business deserves more than ordinary glass, you trust the experts. Capital Glass and Shower Doors has been elevating spaces for over 40 years with precision, craftsmanship, and clean, modern design. From sleek frameless shower enclosures to elegant glass railings, wine cabinets, and any custom glass that makes a statement, Capital Glass delivers unmatched quality, service, and attention to detail. Your vision, their expertise. Capital Glass and Shower Doors at capcoglass.com.
Leadership looks different on every woman, and every story deserves the spotlight. I'm Liz Gruby, the events director from the Jacksonville Business Journal. I would love for you to join us, PNC Bank, and our 2026 Women of Influence honorees for an unforgettable celebration honoring the women shaping our business community, opening doors, and lifting others along the way. Women of Influence, because powerful leadership deserves to be celebrated. Get your tickets now at jbjevents.com.
It all begins with Speed Weeks, presented by Advent Health, February 11th, and culminates with a Daytona 500 on February 15th. This week, you can win a pair of tickets to the Daytona 500. What driver won the 2025 Daytona 500? Text the driver's last name to 641-1010. What driver won the 2025 Daytona 500? Text the driver's last name answer to 641-1010 for a chance to win tickets to the Daytona 500, February 15th.
Frank Frangie here for Coil Fencing. Since 1927, Jacksonville has trusted Coil Fencing to protect what matters. And I trust them too. From tough chain link to your commercial project to sleek aluminum fencing your HOA will love, Coil does it all. Did you know that Coil can also install, service, and maintain those automatic gates that help protect your neighborhood or business? To schedule a complimentary consultation, visit CoilJacks.com. That's C-O-Y-L-E, Jacks.com. Coil Fencing, A-plus rated with the Better Business Bureau, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Spring is almost here. Is your yard ready? Lucas Tree Service, a family-owned business with over 45 years of experience, is your local certified arborist for tree removal, trimming, and stump grinding for residential or commercial properties. Protect your home, boost your curb appeal, and get top-notch service from a Jacksonville company. Make sure your trees are healthy and safe before summer hits. Schedule your tree inspection today at lucastreeservice.com.
Hey, it's Travis from Cannons of Jacks. Thank you for trusting us for 55 years of custom welding fabrication and vehicle towing accessories. When you need a trailer hitch for the family car, a gooseneck for the company truck, or even RV towing options, call us at Cannons. We can do a bumper hitch, fifth wheel hitch, anything for safe, reliable towing. Come to Cannons of Jacks, where service is our #1 priority and we treat our customers as we like to be treated. Check us out online, cannonsofjacks.com.
Instant Keys is turning 25. A quarter century of saving the day when your keys mysteriously vanish.
Seriously, it was just in my pocket.
Or when that remote fob decides to quit working.
The dealership is such a hassle.
For 25 years, Instant Keys has been the go-to locksmith service for car keys, house keys, transponders, re-keys, and even high-tech smart locks. You don't have to go to the dealer. Instant Keys comes to you for honest, professional locksmith service. Use Instant Keys.
I'm with Brent from Cycles of Jacksonville, and when the weather starts to shift a little bit, especially during the fall, you've got some really cool stuff from Honda Off-Road.
We do. It's favorite time of the year for me. Nice little chill in the air. We've got some side-by-sides. We've got the ATVs. Of course, they're legendary dirt bikes. We've got it all.
And for the hunter?
We've got side-by-sides that work and play.
All right, so make sure you check it out. Showroom wide open for you on Atlantic near Regency. If you want to go off-road and have some fun, check out Cycles of Jacksonville.
Welcome to Key Buick GMC, proudly family-owned and operated since 1943. Come see why they're North Florida's new and pre-owned truck center, conveniently located on Southside and JTB, just minutes from the St. John's Town Center. At Key Buick GMC, every new vehicle comes with our lifetime powertrain warranty. Key Buick GMC, we are professional grade. Online at keybuickgmc.com. Lifetime powertrain warranty covers engine, transmission, drivetrain only. Exclusions apply. See dealer for details.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch. Now, the Monahan's golden moment. Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach, your local family jewelers.
Back here on 1010XL at 92.5 FM in the city of Jacksonville. We are glad you are with us. Patriots and the Seahawks. Super Bowl 60 coming up on Sunday. Who would have ever thought that these were the final two teams in the National Football League, yet here we are. And maybe I shouldn't say that, because maybe somebody in my own household might have thought one of these two teams would be left standing. You know, when you talk about the New England Patriots, I don't really have a dog in the fight this Sunday, but I guess because of my wife, who is a New England girl, I will have to be rooting for the New England Patriots. And with that, let me bring in my lovely bride, Heidi Green, with us here on Hacker After Dark. Sweetie, how you doing?
Oh, I am great. I'm excited for Sunday. I don't think it's going to be a good game, but I'm still excited to see what happens.
Well, we'll talk about the Patriots in a moment. Now, you've certainly been a Patriots believer all year long, but first and foremost, I know you had a lot of thoughts, I guess, last week when Bill Belichick did not get voted into the Hall of Fame, and now it also appears that Robert Kraft is not going into the Hall of Fame either this year. I know you were pretty upset by the Belichick news, weren't you?
I really can't believe what happened there. I don't understand how he didn't get into the Hall on his first ballot. He is arguably the greatest coach of all time in the National Football League. So there's some serious problems there that I think Goodell, as much as I don't like him, he really needs to get to the bottom of that and figure out what's going on with his organization and how things get voted upon, because this is just absurd.
Well, the interesting thing now is people are wondering, all right, does it have to do with Deflategate? Does it have to do with Spygate? And if Belichick doesn't get in on the first ballot and they also don't put Kraft in as well, what will that mean for Tom Brady's candidacy here in a couple of years?
Right. So first of all, let's discuss Belichick for a second. He won the Super Bowl 6 times. He had 9 conference championships, 31 playoff wins. How does this not make him the greatest NFL coach of all time? Nobody has these stats. So the fact that they're bringing up these absurd ideas like Deflategate and Spygate, none of those things were ever proven to have actually happened. So people are using that against him for something that may or may not have happened. I mean, I don't think it happened, not only as a Patriots fan, but if you just look at it objectively, wouldn't they have won a whole bunch more games than they did if those things were really happening? Deflategate, I've never played football personally. I'm not an athletic specimen, but I would think it would be harder to catch the ball if it was deflated than if it was inflated. So there's just some whole controversy around that. Secondly, when it comes to Kraft, I mean, I don't agree that owners should be in the Hall of Fame to begin with. I just don't understand that. But if that is a thing and they're going to put owners into the Hall of Fame, he deserves to be in. Do you know how much charity work he does in the New England community? I mean, it's off the charts. He has so many different organizations that he supports, and that's one of the reasons why I love him as a person and I love being a Patriots fan, is because of his community and charitable outreach. But then we have to get to Tom Brady. There is no way TB12 is not going into the Hall on the first ballot. He is unequivocally the best football player, probably the greatest athlete of all time. He will make it in on the first round. And if he doesn't, there is serious issues that Goodell really needs to get to the bottom of. And I think Goodell should be fired if that doesn't happen. It's his regime that is set up this voting system that's clearly not fair.
Well, I'll tell you this. If Tom Brady doesn't get in on the first ballot, there doesn't need to be a Pro Football Hall of Fame in Canton, Ohio. There's no doubt about that. My lovely wife, Heidi Green, with us here, the resident Patriots fan in our household. That brings us to this team and this Sunday in Super Bowl 60. First and foremost, I remember when the Patriots hired Mike Vrabel last offseason, you were pretty fired up about Vrabel returning to New England, and he certainly has not disappointed.
Yes, absolutely. So first of all, let's go back over a year ago when the Patriots did not hire him, and I was even more upset then. I think he should have been brought in sooner. It would have made the most sense. Clearly, we can see from the record this year that would have made more sense than doing what they did last season. But when they finally made the change and they brought him in, I was so excited for Braves to be coming back to New England. He brought a great energy to the organization, and his work speaks for itself. I mean, last year we were 14-3. Everyone was expecting us to have a rebuilding year. I know the Jags fans are very familiar with rebuilding. However, look at our record this year, and we're in the Super Bowl. How do you go from 14-3 to the Super Bowl the following year? That is on the coach. The coach has the right mindset, has the right tools, has the right players, they have the right plays, they're doing something right. So I'm excited about the Super Bowl. I think bringing Braves back was an amazing decision. And despite the preseason odds of having the Patriots 60-1, I believed in Braves and this team.
Yeah, I guess you can call him Vrabes, being a Patriot fan. I'll still refer to him as Coach Vrabel. And that leads me to Drake May. Hun, I mean, look, the bottom line is it's not fair because you guys had 15, 16, 17 years of Tom Brady and his aura, and then all of a sudden Brady calls it a career, or he certainly leaves New England, and in a very short amount of time, now you get this kid Drake May, who has you right back in the Super Bowl. Now, obviously, he's not going to live up to what Tom Brady did there, but what's your thought on Drake May being only in year number 2, taking you guys back to the promised land?
So Drake May, as a rock star, if you told me last season I mean, no one will ever be the next Tom Brady, but could he be close to the next Tom Brady? Maybe if he keeps playing like this. I wouldn't have said that last year, but this season I'm much more optimistic. But it comes from hard work, it comes from discipline, it comes from basically the TB12 method, whatever you call it. And that's what Tom Brady believes in. He believes in discipline, reps, constantly getting better. Like you have to be better in a minute from now than you were just now. That's his mindset. And I think that Dre follows that very similarly.
Couple of more from my wife, Heidi Green, the resident Patriots fan in our household. Super Bowl 60, Patriots Seahawks coming up on Sunday. All right, I know talking to you this week, and you actually started off this conversation. I don't know how optimistic you are about the Patriots' chances. What do you think about Sunday against Seattle?
Yeah, so it's going to be an interesting game. I don't think it's going to go favorably for the Patriots. Let me just say that. But, we're in the Super Bowl. We didn't think we are going to be at the Super Bowl this year. So stranger things have happened. There's two things. So first of all, the Seahawks are more of an offensively minded team, whereas the Patriots are more of a defensively minded team, which makes sense because Braves played for Belichick and his entire coaching philosophy is about defense. So that would make sense. We can see that the Patriots are more defensively oriented this year. However, as we just talked about a second ago, Drake May, he's the shining star here. I know he has what it takes to land his passes and get him to the end zone. So I hope that we see a victory on Sunday, but I'm not too hopeful.
Now, all the 1010XL listeners know Little Hack is a diehard Jaguar fan, as he lets them know every game day morning on social media. But where is Little Hack's allegiance going to be on Sunday? Is he going to be all about the Patriots with his mother?
Yeah, so Little Hack and I are kind of discussing that this week. So during the regular season, of course, it's all about the Jaguars. And when I'm watching the Patriots games later in the day in the 4 o'clock hour, most of the time, he's kind of there with me and he's like, okay, who do we want to win? I'm like, of course, the Patriots. So for that game, he'll kind of reluctantly allow me to root for the Patriots and he'll be like, oh, they scored, mommy. Like, are you so happy? Like, he'll kind of get into it, but he doesn't root for them like he does for the Jaguars. He's with his dad rooting for the Jaguars during the 1 o'clock games every time for the Jags. This week, we're kind of having a little bit of a sticky situation. I'm not sure if he's trying to irritate me or if this is how he really feels, but he's already saying he's not rooting for the Patriots. And I'm like, well, that's not going to work because we're rooting for the Patriots on Sunday. There's no Jaguars to contend with. Like, the only option here is the Patriots. So I'm not sure if he's just trying to get under my skin or if he's really not going to root for the Patriots. So I guess we'll have to decide that on Sunday. But I'm hoping that he decides to root for the Patriots because they need all the cheering they can get.
All right, now I know we normally have a Super Bowl get-together. We're doing that again this week. You're going to be much more involved in watching the game than probably you have been in years past. So will that affect the spread that we're going to have as far as nourishment on Sunday evening?
Yes, that is a very great question. And yes, the spread will be impacted. So we are going to go with a lot of dips that are pre-made probably on Saturday, so I just have to heat them up on Sunday. We're not going to have any elaborate chili bar or taco bar this year. No time for cleanup or any of that stuff. So it's going to be all crock pot and pre-made items because I have to focus on this game.
She's a New England girl, and she's fired up. Her Patriots are in the Super Bowl. They will play Seattle on Sunday for the Vince Lombardi Trophy. Heidi Green, my lovely bride. Sweetie, great job, and I will see you after the show this evening.
Okay, bye-bye.
And thank you to my lovely wife, Heidi Green, for joining us tonight here on Hacker After Dark. Yeah, I figured with her team playing in the Super Bowl, why not get her on to get her perspective on the game. Patriots and the Seahawks Sunday, final NFL game of the year. Look, we talked about it earlier tonight. No one, I'd be surprised, I shouldn't say no one, I'd be surprised if very, very many people at all had Patriots Seahawks in Super Bowl 60 when this season started back in early September. I don't even think I had either one of these teams in the playoffs, quite frankly. And now here we are. It speaks to a couple of things. It speaks to the absolute parity in the National Football League. It speaks to good fortune with injuries and whatnot. It also speaks to, resilience with Mike Vrabel, who just got fired in Tennessee in 2023, takes a year off, goes back to New England, and bam, has them right back in the Super Bowl. And then Sam Darnold, who was considered a bust, called everything under the sun by New York Jets fans and media, has a cup of coffee in Carolina and San Francisco, kind of rejuvenates his career in Minnesota, and then goes out to Seattle and has been nothing short of fantastic and finds himself one win away from a world championship. So craziness that Seattle and New England are the final two. As far as the game goes, look, admittedly, I have not been a fan of New England as far as I thought maybe they've been overrated at times. I don't think they've played the toughest schedule by any stretch of the imagination, and the numbers and the stats will certainly back that up. Having said that, they've played 20 games that matter, 17 in the regular season and 3 in the playoffs, and they've won 17 of them. They're 17-3. At a certain point, even if you don't think a team is as good as their record would indicate, 17 out of 20 would tell you that the team is pretty darn good. As far as Seattle goes, they've been dominant. Jackson Smith and Jigba, Kenneth Walker, getting Rashid Shaheed at the trade deadline. We talked about Sam Darnold. Obviously, that defense has been very, very good. I was not all that excited about this game when we found out who was playing in it, 12, 13 days ago. But I'm getting around to it. I'm getting there. I'll be excited when it kicks off on Sunday. When all is said and done, however, give me the Seattle Seahawks. I just think they've been arguably the best team in the league all year. I think it's a close game, a competitive game, a game that will be in doubt in the fourth quarter. But I will ultimately take Seattle to win on Sunday night and give me Sam Darnold as the Super Bowl most valuable player, which will just cement one of the greatest on-field comebacks in the history of the National Football League. Well, that will just about do it, man. Very, very busy Friday night edition here of Hacker After Dark. We certainly appreciate you guys hanging out with us on 1010XL and on 92.5 FM. And we have a ton of people to thank. Again, my lovely wife, Heidi Green, appreciate her joining me this evening. Thank you to Brian Toporek, Bleacher Report, and Forbes, talking about the National Basketball Association. Look, it wasn't as great a trade deadline as some envisioned. John Morant stayed in Memphis for now. Giannis stayed in Milwaukee for now. But we did see James Harden get traded. We saw Anthony Davis get traded. We saw Nikola Vucevic get traded. We saw Jaren Jackson Jr. get traded. It certainly was an active trade deadline, and we talked about all of that with Brian Toporek of Bleacher Report and Forbes, and also Mike Patton of the Sporting News. He's also the host of the Touring the AFC South podcast. Appreciate Mike joining us to talk a little Jaguars, Texans, Colts, and Titans as we head into the offseason, because as a matter of fact, Sunday night when that Lombardi Trophy is hoisted, we'll wake up Monday morning and all teams are back to 0-0. It will be full steam ahead into the offseason, and we appreciate Mike Patton of the Sporting News and the Touring the AFC South podcast for joining us this evening here on Hacker After Dark. Aaron Williams was your producer tonight. Aaron, great job as always. I'm the Hacker Ryan Green. And again, Jacksonville, thank you for joining us not only tonight, but all week here on Hacker After Dark, as we always tell you. And we cannot possibly tell you enough how much we absolutely appreciate it. So for all of us here on HAD, have a terrific remainder of your Friday evening, a fantastic weekend, and enjoy Super Bowl Sunday. And we'll be right back here with you Monday night, beginning at 8 o'clock for Hacker After Dark. Until then, good night, Jacksonville.
I was over